Thank you. Yeah, first of all, if there's a lot of academics here, I'm so sorry because maybe I'm going to upset them because I think they are one of the main problems when it comes to counterterrorism. I'm talking about the real work of counterterrorism. There's plenty of them, too much of academic work and academic individuals, but quite frankly, they have no clue whatsoever about the world outside there, When people, they're shooting at each other and people, they're killing at each other, okay? Why I'm saying this? Because now, if we assess the international global agenda about counterterrorism, what's the goals and the aims has been set up by the international community, okay? That should be the main start, What is the international community, if it does exist, global agenda when it comes to counterterrorism? So when we talk about the global agenda, that means including the Middle East, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, you name it, including Turkey, wherever, because they are part of the global agenda. I think, just think about what I'm going to say now carefully, please. If you assess the message of the international community and the policies, okay, and the way how they execute what's so-called the global strategy, I think the message from the international community led by the US is you have to live with terrorism. Take it or leave it. And that's a defeat. That's exactly the message. Just assess the Middle East especially, or even the greater Middle East, if you talk about Pakistan, Afghanistan as well, maybe India and Kashmir or whatever. So you will find out the message is for the public is you have to live with terrorism. Okay? Because they failed, maybe, to get rid of terrorism, but there's a lot of theories, a lot of arguments around, especially in the West, about, okay, how should we reassess our goals? Oh, we have to be very realistic about us. Why? Because people, they think, here comes the issue of academics, a lot of romance about counterterrorism. I would like to ask you one question before I go to the second point is, for you, even from a liberal democratic values and point views, which is more important for you? The rights of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the human rights of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, which is the mastermind of 11th of September, and he killed thousands and thousands of people in New York, or the human rights of his victims? So you have to answer this question, quite frankly. Which is more important for you? The rights of the terrorist, the criminal, the mastermind of the killing of thousands and thousands of people and using civilian or weaponized civilian aviation, okay, in New York, or the rights of his victims? I never seen anyone talk about the victims. It's always about the rights. I'm just giving him as an example. Oh, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is being treated like this. Oh, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is being God knows what. Oh my God, I love him, honestly, so he's thought to be innocent, a hero. So we have to be very careful about our rights, our values, exactly how to do, because it goes exactly, I think, in contradiction with the efforts out there. When you send your boys and kids and women and men in service duty in Afghanistan and to fight in Helmand or in Iraq or wherever, so you have to respect their sacrifice. And I have communication with a lot of them. Most of them, they are really upset about the politicians, the leaders who sent them there. Okay, because they need to get away when there's like failures. I'm so sorry, but I would like to be very frank about these issues because it's ongoing process. It's a vicious cycle. Every 10 years we have another problem, another conflict. But guess what? We have more terrorists. Can you explain this to me? We have more terrorists now. It's not the first time. There's a lot of effort, billions and billions has been spent, not just in Iraq. I'm talking about like globally. How many times we've seen like Western leaders appear on TV with nice suits and nice ties like myself, and they said, okay, mission has been accomplished. Oh, there is no more, Al-Qaeda has been destroyed. How many times we've seen this? But is it really the reality? No, no. We have the latest version of the jihadi groups, which not just Al-Qaeda, just the development of the jihadists or the Islamists, if you like, and to be like honest about it. And the mother source of all these issues is the Muslim Brotherhood. I know it's not like a fancy phrase now, or more like it in the West now, especially in America and Britain, I'm so sorry, because they think now, which is a disaster for me and most of the region in the Middle East, they think the Muslim Brotherhood is the solution. Okay? This is a real, I'm going to say hypocrisy, I think. Because who is the first organization in the modern history of Islam created a special branch just for one purpose, to kill, assassinate, blow up people? They killed the Prime Minister of Egypt, okay, 1947. They killed the judge. They attacked the government. It's a Muslim Brotherhood. And the ideology now has been developed from one generation to another. Here's the war of ideology. It's Sayyid Qutb ideology. And guess what? He's not like a part of any social party or liberal. He's a leader of the Muslim Brotherhood. And still, now one of the icons. So that's exactly the real strategy to counter terrorism. If you talk about ideology, we have to start from the Muslim Brotherhood. Because Islamically, even from a fiqh perspective, the classic fiqh, you cannot appoint an idiot as an emir, which they call bay'ah. In the West, and from liberal values, we talk about democracy and elections. People, they elect someone, even if he failed, then you have a chance to remove him from power or whatever. But these guys, they believe in bay'ah. They developed the bay'ah in a very isolated context, so to give power to someone, maybe Zarqawi, Zawahiri, Bin Laden, Baghdadi, whatever, and then said, yeah, this is the emir of the Muslimin, so he has the right to order the killing of anyone. Bin Laden, on behalf of 1.5 billion, falsely, he claimed acting on behalf of the Muslims, he launched a war against the United States of America. And guess what? He didn't fail, because he managed to brought America to the Middle East with tens of thousands of soldiers to fight there. That's a success, and we have to tell people the story. Why? Because we failed. We failed how to come up with a very sound, effective strategy. And what is the strategy should be? Not like a lot of people now, they're arguing with a very soft talk about terrorism, and they said, okay, military is not the solution. No, it's not. Military is the solution. Yes. Problem is of over-militarization, which is a different issue. Over-militarization, that means someone, a politician, seized an opportunity to do something else, has nothing to do with counterterrorism, like invading Iraq 2003. So sorry, you have to accept this. It has nothing to do, because the operation, when it starts in 2011, the US managed to destroy Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. Yes, at the first 2 months. They managed to kick them out, it destroyed them. And then, all of a sudden, before the diminished complex, as has been claimed, they just turned to Iraq. And I am sure you are educated more than me, because you are from the West. You know exactly who was behind it to, take the war to a different path, to attack Iraq and to invade Iraq for different reasons. I know Saddam Hussein was a dictator, but the war there, it wasn't part of war against terrorism. So here, we don't play the military force. I know a lot of issues. If you analyze the situation, what is like General Petraeus' work in Iraq, he destroyed the terrorists. You don't know the details, how difficult it was just to identify the targets, people in certain neighborhood, and to get all their names. It was a very successful, sophisticated operation, and he was successful, 10 out of 10. Even Buka prison, now it turned out to be like a disaster for the Arab world. But the way how it's being created at the first time, I believe it was a very successful intelligence operation to counter terrorism, okay? But always the politicians, which is Western leaders, acting on behalf of the free world, they screwed up, excuse me. So I will leave it there. Military is the solution. Counterterrorism, especially from ideological point of view, it should start from the source of all this problem. That's to prevent, which is the Muslim Brotherhood. And just analyze the situation now in Libya. They created for us something called a drua, which means shields. Why? Because they've been advised, don't never ever appear with a militia arm. Let the other people do your dirty work, but just use this cover. They did the same thing in Syria, okay? That's the Muslim Brotherhood tactics, and I am sure a lot of Western intelligence service, they know that. They know how deep the Muslim Brotherhood involved in military actions. So please, you have to think about, my message is, your message, talk about NATO, EU, whatever, your message to the Middle East is, think about it, you have to live with terrorism. Thank you.